So we got a nice video for y'all today. 2K finally dropped the sneak preview, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, we still ain't got no gameplay. I'm a little disappointed with that, but we do have a lot of information for y'all. So we got a lot to talk about in this video, so y'all know what it is by now. Without further ado, I need y'all to grab yourself that brew, and let's get to the video.
If you don't know, it's brutal sim on the scene, wicked and mean. With the next video, one is YouTube thing. We got 2K news and rumors. Don't forget the tutorials and tips. Turn your MyPLAYER to a bad man and rule the sticks. No matter the mode, record or park, even my career brute will get you a good start. Hit the like button, don't forget the notifications. Comment down below and welcome to the Brute Squad Nation.
So you don't know, your boy Brutal Sim on the scene, wicked and mean, with a next video for y'all, man. So we're gonna skip the rest of the intro. Of course, we got a lot to dive into in this video. We're gonna start off with the rollout schedule, because even on the image that they gave us, it was looking a little bit, it was very hard to make out, y'all, and I got 2020. Trust your boy on that. But anyways, so when it comes to gameplay reveal, we should expect it on the week of July 20th, and they never do specific date. They always say the week of, by the way. When it comes to MyPLAYER builder news, we get it the week of August 4th. My team news, the week of August 11th. My career news, we get the week of August 18th, as well as my NBA news, week of August 18th as well. And the biggest news that I saw so far was the city news. We should expect it on the week of August 25th. We're gonna dive into why I think that's the biggest news so far, especially for my career type players outside of new storylines. But anyways, they did drop a lot of information, of course. Gameplay changes. They were speaking about rewarding skill-based gameplay, something that we've been hearing for years. Also, higher difficulty game modes won't be seeing whites going in at all. It will be green or mist. That's still left open for the park and the rec and even the theater, seeing a lot of whites going in, by the way. We got to talk about that as well. And of course, layup timing will be permanently equipped. No more real player percentage when it comes to layup. Now, of course, I got a clip of Evan kind of breaking it down here, so I want y'all to check this out.
Today, what we want to share is that one of the dev team's themes was ensuring a skill-based gameplay experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme. So you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay feels this year. Higher difficulties are going to play with green or miss jump shot timing. Now, when we say higher difficulties, that includes most competitive multiplayer modes that many of you all play. So in those modes, you're not going to see early or late releases going in on those difficulties, which I think is a very welcome news to many of you. Second thing, the shot meters and the dunk meters are both going to show you your green windows in 2K26. That was a point of feedback that came up a lot, and even as the year went on, I kept seeing that many weren't getting used to the new 2K25 shot meters, especially slashers. I gave that feedback a lot. So in 2K26, the meters are going to have the green windows again. One more thing here. Layup timing is going to be permanently enabled in multiplayer modes. That means you're not going to be seeing real player percentage layups go over you anymore with someone that's just tapping a button. All the layups need to be timed in those modes. But those of you who are newer to the game, we do want to clarify that you shouldn't think that you aren't going to be able to make a layup anymore, because this is not meant to make it really hard for you to make your open layups, but rather to separate the really good finishers from the weaker ones, and definitely to make sure that there's more skill involved.
This is something I would have to wait and see, because y'all know when it comes to 2K, they're going to launch the game a certain way, but when the community start complaining about certain things, they're going to make certain adjustments to facilitate people that's complaining as well, man. So we're going to have to wait and see. Sounds good so far. It sounds good. But again, we will have to wait and see. And again, these only apply to certain game modes as well. Not the layup timing thing, but at least like the green window stuff only apply to certain game modes as well. So we got to dive into that whenever they launch the game. The next thing they spoke about is the MyPLAYER builder. Again, the week of August 4th. And one of the things they hang their hat on was previewing body types before you complete the build, something I really don't care about. But the next thing they did highlight is that cap breakers will be making a return as well. and they are revamping or changing up or improving or making improvements on the takeover system as well. And they also highlighted that build diversity will be very important in NBA 2K26. For example, making taller point guards more viable as well. Anyways, let's check out this clip from Evan kind of breaking down as well.
A nice little addition that you can now preview the body types that you'll be able to unlock right from inside the builder. Because I've seen many people make a build, they save it, then they go and check the body types. And then if it doesn't have the ones they want, they back out, tweak it a little bit, check again, and repeat. That's kind of time consuming. So you will not have to do that anymore. You will be able to see the body types before you are done with your build. Today, we can confirm that cap breakers will be back in 2K26, and there will also be other new ways to improve your build and earn those cap breakers that we're going to talk about soon. The other thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the takeover system, where you have 5 levels that heat up automatically, you don't need to activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is more in depth now. So there are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26. So we're going to talk about takeover and cap breakers soon, but for now, they are back and they are much, much improved.
I gotta be honest with y'all, I'm most excited about having taller point guard builds be extremely useful again, because in NBA 2K25 I had to make do, and y'all know me, man. Since 2K19, 2K17 days, I love taller guard builds, and something I love playing with because it just gives me more variety to what I could do, or more abilities in terms of playing defense or even switching on certain builds. So I just want that to come back to the game, in my opinion. That could just be a boy brute. But again, this is one of the things I'm actually excited to see how they plan on executing this. You're gonna have to wait and see whenever they start putting out this information. The next thing they spoke about is the My Team changes we should expect. Now again, this will be dropping on the week of August 11th. They spoke about changes coming to Triple Threat Park, which is a game mode I've been playing a lot recently. And they will be bringing some new locations. Me personally, I hope they stick to the old theme. For example, 2K15, 16, 17 courts. Some that we love from back in the day. It was a simpler time back then. I gotta be honest with y'all, man. So I hope that, but they did say they're changing the location and adding new ways for people to actually play together. They might be adding a 5v5. I'm putting this out there, right? Also, changing the way you receive rewards based on community feedback as well. And the one thing they spoke about when it comes to My Team is the King of the Court game mode within My Team. Believe it or not, every weekend it will have cash prizes up to $10,000 for people to win, bro. They are really pushing that My Team game mode. But here's Evan again speaking about My Team coming to NBA 2K26.
Or 2K26, which is what you guys want to know about. When we do get to the full My Team reveal, there's a couple things you can look forward to us talking about. First, there is a new location for the Triple Threat Park. So the rooftop has been awesome, but we do have a different vibe this year to keep things fresh. There are also new ways to play with or against other people in the park. So you can squad up with your +1, play new formats that I'm not going to spoil today, but I will say I have seen them be requested often by the community. So little hint for you there. Lastly, in the park, there have been changes to rewarding with community feedback in mind so that you can earn even more rewards throughout the Triple Threat Park. But we're also going to share more on that in a couple weeks. My team players, I want you to pay attention to this one because I know you're going to like it. But there's 2 things here to cover. One of the biggest points of My Team feedback that we've heard this past year is how King of the Court was only for a few hours on Saturdays. So if you were out of the house, maybe you work on Saturdays, or maybe you're just in a different time zone where those 4 hours were in the middle of the night for you, and you probably couldn't consistently participate, right? We get that. So in 2K26, the dev team has worked on making King of the Court more accessible. Now it is going to take place across the entire weekend to give you more opportunity to play. But the other thing about King of the Court is a very, very big one. Because in addition to competing for big amounts of VC, the winner across PlayStation 5 and Xbox each weekend is also going to be competing for a cash prize of $10,000. So we are going to share more details about all of that. But in short, there will be a cash prize for King of the Court winners in my team on the weekends. I am very, very excited for this. I hope our competitive community feels similarly.
Gotta be honest with y'all. $10,000 could do me real good. I gotta be honest with y'all, man. I gotta be honest. Normally, I will wait till later in the cycle to play my team. That might actually change, y'all. That might actually change. Y'all gotta be 100. Okay, your boy Brew can't lie to y'all. But let me know what y'all think about these changes coming to my team in the comment section. The next thing they spoke about is MyPLAYER. And oh my God, they actually got some big news for your boy personally. I've been telling 2K for a while now, we need more depth, a better storyline for MyPLAYER. And I gotta be 100. When I saw Spike Lee speak on the trailer that they dropped so far, which didn't have no gameplay, by the way, it was a bunch of NBA clips. I was like, are they going back to Spike Lee? So they said that it's coming with a new storyline. It's called Out of Bounds or something like that. And they're also bringing back the draft, but that's not the only way to get on your team because they know that people like to select their teams. So you could actually choose your team and decide to bet on yourself and go and have private workouts as well. But there is Evan speaking on MyPLAYER coming to NBA 2K26.
So this year, the dev team has spent time building out a full prelude story that is called Out of Bounds. Title of it? Now, we're not going to spoil how the story goes, of course, but what we can say is that there are now more consequences to the story games and your choices. So, for example, if you've got a game and your goal is to outshine your opponent, but you fail, your agent might not be able to get you the best opportunities because you didn't pass those objectives. So it makes things more interesting, and personally, every year, I still start with my career for at least a few hours before I go into multiplayer in the city and all that. So I'm excited to play through this Out of Bounds storyline myself. Hope you guys are as well. The draft is also an area of my career where I've seen brought up a lot in feedback because it seems like half the community wants to get drafted and half want to pick their team so that they can go to the Lakers and play with LeBron and Luka. Or if you're like Stacks, picking the Knicks, of course, playing with Brunson over there. But our dev team has done the best of both worlds in 2K26. So this year, you can be drafted based on your performance and how well you fit each team, or you could also bet on yourself. You can pick a team to do a private workout for and try to convince them to draft you instead. So the decision is up to you, whether you want to get drafted or pick your team. And I think it's a pretty nice solution to that feedback where we saw both ends, people who wanted to get drafted and people who wanted to pick their team. Now you can do what you want.
I want to see how this plays out, especially based on what you choose. They're going to have consequences for your actions. I want to see how that's executed, man. Hopefully this could actually revive my career experience. Once the story mode is good enough, it will actually be worth my time, especially if you could have a dynamic finish. It's based on how you choose. The ending could be different. That will actually have replay value. Hopefully they decide to go that direction. We'll have to wait and see again. Remember, the week of August 18, we're gonna have to wait to see what they're talking about. The next thing they spoke about, now I'm not a MyNBA player or anything like that, man. So they did highlight that they will be dropping the MyNBA news on the week of August 18th as well. One of the things they highlighted was dynamic banners and other stuff, man. But here is Evan speaking on that as well. Y'all check this clip out.
When teams win championships, they obviously get to hang a banger up, right? Our cover athletes, Thunder Squad, they're about to do that in a few months. Well, now, as you win titles, you will see championship banners actually live in your home arena going forward. So the dev team put a lot of love into this feature. They have carved out a dedicated section in each arena for these banners. And as you play out your franchises, you are going to see all the years of championships hung up there. And the presentation is going to spotlight it to show the hopefully many years of championships you've earned. If you can't win one, you're not going to get one. But hopefully you have many, many years of championships to show up there in the rafters. So we don't have a visual today, but we were going to show you all how this works in August. People were asking about an unranked option. So we didn't do that last year, but this year we do have that. And in the unranked version of MyGM, you have a lot more freedom. So you can import custom rosters, draft classes, essentially really fine-tune your settings. So last year, if you thought MyGM looked cool, you were interested, but you got turned off by the lack of customization, we think you'll really like this one.
Again, I'm not a huge MyNBA fan, but let me know if you're all excited for this or not in the comment section. And lastly, the biggest news is the city. the city. Now, again, we could expect this on the week of, now no specific date, the week of August 25th. And they spoke about bringing a much smaller city, a more intimate city, a more accessible city. And not only that, they spoke about the parks as well. One of the things we've been asking 2K for years is to bring more realistic parks to their game, and they promised to deliver that, y'all. I can't even make this up. The word they used specifically was a more natural, more grounded, similar to reworked courts with better lighting to reduce harsh lights and shades, y'all. Here is Evan speaking on the new city and parks, y'all. Check this clip out.
We want to get you on the court faster. So this year in 2K26, without showing you the city, because we can't do that just yet, how I would describe it is it's even more intimate, it's even more accessible, and you can get wherever you want to go really quickly to further build on that big shift last year. So if you've heard the words the city come up before and you thought about that really big map with streets and turns everywhere, that is not how the city is now, and I think you're going to really like the one in 2K26. All right, so all of you in the community love to flex. When we get into August, something you can expect to hear about are multiple new ways of how we're putting a spotlight on players. And one that we thought we would be cool to talk about today, as an example, that's not too big of a spoiler, is our new mode leaderboards. So these rank players by the most wins in places like the theater and the rec. And the cool thing is the top player each day is going to have a big 12-foot statue of their MyPLAYER built outside of that mode's building. So if you are the #1 player that day, whenever somebody walks in, you are going to be looking down on them, kind of intimidating them. So that is just one example. We can't talk about the other new additions here just yet, but you will hear more very soon later in the summer. There is one more very cool thing though, Stacks, that I have been waiting to talk about in 2K26. And we want to call out now that the new designs are focused on more natural and more grounded environments. Because the feedback about what direction many of you want to see the park environments go in, that has been heard. So this year you can expect to see designs like ones that are more similar to courts that maybe you might see in the real world. Maybe in your cities or neighborhoods, you might see courts like these. And one more thing here on visuals is that there are also new lighting improvements and a fixed time of day. And the benefit of that is that it should reduce the amount of harsh shade and harsh sunlight that you may have noticed in the past when you were playing. Both of those things, I am sure, are very welcome news. I keep seeing those brought up. So, Stacks, I hope the community is happy with them. I see a lot of W's in the chat. That is something that we've been waiting to say for a while, that the scenery in the parks is going to be more natural and more grounded, and the lighting improvements should make the harsh shade and the harsh sunlight a little bit more accessible for you all, less of a bother when you are playing.
That's the best news I heard so far, outside of the My Career news. So I'm not too hype about it, but they are saying the right things. Again, we'll have to wait and see how they plan on executing these. Again, we're gonna have to wait until the gameplay really drop, because they're gonna say what they're saying. They're gonna drop some trailers and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little excited. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Your boy gonna always be 100 with y'all. But am I gonna go out the way and be overhyped? Not necessarily. Until I get my hands in the game, that's the only way I'll be able to tell if 2K deliver on their promise. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, you know your boy Sim gonna always put you all up on game and keep you all up to date on everything in the 2K community. If you're first time to the channel, make sure like the video, share the video, and hit your boy a subscribe. If you're not your first time, like the video, share the video. You never know who's gonna be informed. Your boy Sim, one love, respect, bless up, peace.